In this video, we're going to transform your completed manuscript into a reflowable ebook format that you can sell today. So for some of you, you've actually utilized my Microsoft Word to create a print-ready Word document that you can upload and sell as well for print-on-demand printing sites. Now, because oftentimes ebook readers are very particular on kind of the internal coding or formatting applied in the document, and we need to have the cleanest version possible. So we're going to have to clean this document first, set up very basic styles, then move forward. So the key with ebooks is to format less, not overdo it. Because if you start playing around with formatting, you're going to cause likely errors in coding. And it's going to cause you big hassles when you try to upload it and you find all these issues and you're going to having to diagnose and work backwards is very challenging. So it's important you follow these steps and do what I do. So we're going to create a new Word document file and you're going to save it and name it because you don't want to do all this work, not save it and lose it. And then now what we're going to do is adjust the layout. So here it is. So go to margins, click normal. Go to orientation, portrait, size, you can use letter or A4, but I'm just going to use letter, and we can get started. I'm actually going to create my style. So I have a variety here that I have that are kind of embedded in place. I'm only going to actually use 3 of them. So I'm going to adjust normal. I'm going to click modify style. Now the great thing with ebooks, people's e-readers, they can adjust the font, they can adjust the sizing, they can adjust how it looks. So in reality, what we're trying to do is just give the most basic version possible so that the reader on their ebook can actually make their own adjustments and change it to any font that's allowed or any sizing that's allowed. So we want to make this as generalized and universal as possible. So I'm just going to pick a very common font. I'm just going to do Times New Roman here. I think having 12 font is fine. I'm going to keep it left justified. That's important. Then I'm going to go scroll down to format, paragraph, and I'm going to create a little first line here, a little indent on every first paragraph. And before, I'm going to leave that as 0. After, I want a little bit of spacing between paragraphs. And then I want to have multiple lines here. I'm going to pick 1.15. So now that I've created my normal, I'm going to adjust my heading because my heading is going to help with the table of contents. Okay, so for the heading, I'm going to modify that. I'm going to change it to Times New Roman. I want to keep this very consistent. I'll have a roughly 18 font. I'm going to center it. Why not bold it? Do something a little different. Format, paragraph. I'm going to remove the first line here. And then spacing, I'm going to make quite a bit at the start, then a little bit after, and then get rid of the line spacing there. Click OK, and then now I'm going to change the second heading. And same as again, Times New Roman. I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'll keep it at maybe 14. Center it. Now, instead of bolding, you could italicize it, but again, that's up to you. Go to Format, Paragraph, remove the first line because it's based off the normal style we adjusted. And before, why don't we just make it 12 and after 12, and then again, we want to reset that. So now that we have our 3 styles, I'm going to go back to my source file. So this is the file that I use to actually write out my manuscript, and it's going to have a lot of errors. I'm going to do things, I've done things like I've added extra spaces. All of that I'm going to have to remove because I'm going to have to keep the cleanest version possible that's almost just purely just text and using styles. So the key thing with e-readers, they really care about the structure of the document. They don't care about the particular formatting of it. So we're going to actually then use the styles to actually tell the structure to the e-reader of what they should read and how they should present it. So I'm going to copy this, do Command A to select all, Command C to copy. Then here I have my version with the completed styles, and I'm just going to paste. So one thing that I'd like to do again, and just to be extra cautious, I'm going to go to Home, And then I'm going to clear all formatting. Just to do that little extra step here that in case there's any hidden coding I'm not aware of, let's just try to make sure that we keep this as clean as possible. Here you can see that I have a lot of extra lines here that I do need to get rid of. Now I can go through the entire document manually do it, or I can do a little kind of cheat here, and I can do find replace. And I just use this little shift 6, so this little hat symbol, and then I can replace all. So now you know I've made roughly about 3,000 changes, and you can see sometimes it's not actually perfect, but if I just keep doing it a few times, what it does, it finally gets rid of all those lines, and I'm good. So that's a cool way to get rid of lines fast, because otherwise it would have taken me maybe about 20 minutes, half an hour of very dedicated work. Here, I've done it in one step. So that should really save you a lot of time there, and hopefully that helps. So let's go back to the start. Now you notice I have no lines there, which is perfect. So I'm going to do heading. That's going to start being very important for my table of contents. And then if you notice that this is all normal, so I could show the style guides in use. This is a really neat function down here. And so I have normal, heading 1, heading 2, and emphasis, and I can show the direct formatting guides here, and that will show up on the side. So that's a really neat tool. I can actually tell you, it can tell you which styles you have and you're working with. So what we're actually going to have to do is actually do this for every chapter. There's not necessarily a really good cheat you can do here, or you can just do find chapter and that will take you to the next one. That's just something that can make it a little bit faster. So at the start of each chapter, you're going to have to add a page break. So on a Mac, you go Command Enter, and then a PC is the same. And again, I'm just going to do heading 1, heading 2, and then go to the next chapter and add a page break. Again, make it heading 1, heading 2, and that's it. So for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm only going to do 3 of these, but you're going to have to do it for every single chapter. But again, doing that find the chapter and going down really quick, it should take you not long at all. So I'm going to scroll up to the top. So this is fantastic. I have my main chapters all lined out. It's under heading 1, which I'm going to convert to a table of contents in a second. But I also want to add some front matter to this. So I'm going to do Command Return, create a page break, and then use a title. So you're going to add the title of your book. And I want to see that in the table of contents. And then I'm going to add my name, which I will just actually make the normal style because I don't want to see it there. And then I'm going to create a new page break. Here I'm going to have a copyright section. And if you want to have that in the table of contents, you can. Here I'm just going to use a fairly generic copyright option. And you don't have to have this much. You publish by or publisher, you can add as optional. Address is optional, ISBN is optional. But this is one that I typically use, so feel free to use it for yourself. So copyright section, I'm just going to make a heading part of the table of contents, and then maybe you want to add a dedication. So I'll just put dedication here, and you want it in the table of contents. And then the actual dedication, you don't want it in the table of contents, so I'm just going to make it normal. So as you can see here, I have my front matter set up. So I put title, copyright, dedication. I have all my chapters lined up in the main text. And if you have seam breaks, italics, or anything bolded, unfortunately, you're going to have to go back to your original manuscript and then compare the two and then manually add in the italics, bolding, or seam breaks. as we go. And I'll be creating a more advanced video later, for especially if you have pictures and other things. But we'll take care of that. But for now, just manually make those changes. I'm going to go to the custom table of contents, and I'm going to create more of a classic version. I need to show page numbers. No. Use hyperlinks instead of page numbers. Yes. Because you don't actually need page numbers in a reflowable ebook because it's actually not going to correlate, of course. So you're going to have to make sure there are no page numbers in your book. And that you've cleared formatting, you've done the right copy and pasting. But if you happen to transfer page numbers, make sure that those are deleted. So get rid of any sort of page number in a reflowable ebook because it will make no sense. So now that I've made a custom table of contents, I don't have to use the standard one. I have all the styles I need, and I'm checking the styles in use. And what I'm going to do is then I'm going to, of course, save that and save that as I go. Then I'm going to go to the Amazon site. So let's do that now. And we're going to download Kindle Previewer. So the Kindle Direct Publishing, that's their KDP site. It has a lot. And you're going to go to their help section. And I'm going to look at Kindle Previewer. And then I'm going to download Kindle Previewer, and you can do it for Windows or Mac. And I'll let you do that. Since I already have it, I am going to open it. So this is going to be pretty easy. You're actually going to drag and drop here to view the file. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to take that template and drop it in. And then it's going to ask about languages, and if it's English, it's English. And now it's preparing your book for conversion. So this is the main test to see if you've done it right and is it going to look good on the KDP. And again, for covers, you're going to do that separately. And we'll talk about that in a more advanced version, but this is just to get your basic book up and running and get you ready and formatted to add to sell today. You can see here's our table of contents on the left, and it'll take you to the different sections. And the great thing about Kindle books that you can change the font, and anyone can do that. They could change the size. Important when you do this that you check your links to make sure that the links work and nothing is out of the ordinary. And if there's anything here that, let's say you want to adjust, you're going to have to go back to your original and adjust it. So maybe, for example, you want to change this over and just manually change that one to centered. You can. It's entirely up to you. The original format, you can see how it looks on a phone and a Kindle e-reader on various sizes, and you get a really good idea of how the book looks. And we can just take one particular example of the chapter. So what a chapter looks like, and then you can just manually turn the pages, adjust the size and even the orientation if you want, because some people like to look at it in a little bit different way. But anyways, this is the basics of what you need to actually get your book reflowable today. So some best practices that I want you to consider. Set all styles up front before pasting. Paste using keep text only. So you're going to use that unformatted text. You don't want to add any other particular styles other than the ones you choose. You're going to clear formatting selectively, if not the entire thing. You're going to reapply inline, italics, and bold. For scene breaks, we'll take care of that in another one. You're going to use page breaks only for chapters and front matter. And then you're not going to have any manual space lines. You're going to do that all in styles. The thing you want to be careful here is that most ebook problems come from over formatting, not under formatting, because ebooks can change around the styles, the formats, the look, the sizing. You don't need to do any of that. The reader is going to make those decisions for themselves. All you need to do is provide the cleanest copy possible and the most generalized copy that any ebook reader can then take your ebook, and the readers can adjust to whatever visual look they want to see and read it at their leisure and end up loving your book and finding it amazing.
I'm going to create an advanced tutorial if you have more specific needs in creating your ebook. But otherwise, I hope you like this video. And if it's helped you, please comment below and click like and subscribe.